Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It is officially the final day's preparation before the biggest game of the last 9 years. It is Champions League final day tomorrow. If you guys are not yet subscribed to GBFC, then make sure you do so. We have got still a ton of content to post for you guys. Got one more collab video, the match preview that will be out for you guys when you wake up in Europe tomorrow. And then around the game, as the dog decides to bark, because he's after the cat's bloody food again, we're going to be doing a vlog of the day tomorrow, 6 things we learned, and then there's a couple of other little special videos, depending on the results, that you guys will see in due course. Also, GBFC Selects, there is still time to enter until kickoff. Link is in the description. It's my free-to-play game. You can win £1,000 if you get the most points out of everybody in the competition. Link down below. This is a Chelsea FC news video. I've got 2 stories as the dog continues to yap away. And then I wanted to address the potential that is Chelsea in their 3rd consecutive Champions League final in a row going to a penalty shootout. And I want to talk a little bit about Mendy. I want to talk a little bit about who my 5 penalty takers would be and ask you guys for your opinion, of course, as always with the GBFC video down in the comments below. But we're going to begin with 2 little news stories today. And the first one is reported, again, I always look at Simon Phillips on Twitter. I think he's an absolute top guy. And whenever he tweets something, I like to listen to it. And Simon has said that Chelsea might well be in for Borussia Mönchengladbach. I always say it incorrectly, but I think I've just got it right. Striker Jonas Hoffman. The man is 28 years old. I believe that he's German. I'm not entirely sure because I've not done too much research. But what I do know is he's had a very good season with Gladbach. He's got 21 goal contributions in all competitions. He got himself a Champions League goal this season as well. And at £15 million, which is the reported fee, I think it is both Tottenham and Chelsea who are actually interested in the player. And there's a few ways that I want to look at this. I want to look at it from the side of this season we've really struggled to score goals. The issue with Hoffman is that he gets more assists than he scores goals, and Timo Werner has actually done a pretty good job with assists. So the more I look at this, immediately off the bat, when I really think about what the player has done in the Bundesliga this season and what Chelsea need, I'm a bit like, is this actually a guy that we should be going for? Is this the kind of calibre of striker that Chelsea desperately need? And the answer to that question, in my humble opinion, is no. We need a top quality, world-class goal scorer along the lines, as we've spoken about countless times here, of Lukaku, Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, or Robert Lewandowski. Those are the 4 names that I'm interested in, and I'm sure you guys probably feel the same. However, at 15 million, he's 28 years old. If you're paying 15 million for a young player, especially with Chelsea, there's always the option that he can go out on loan. But at 28, the next move that he makes in his career is either going to be one where he's happy to just sit on the bench and contribute when needed, or the player's going to be like, these are my prime years as a striker in European football. I need to go to a team who needs a striker. And I think realistically, Spurs are going to need a striker, aren't they? Because Harry Kane's going to go. The dog is having a flipping field day fit inside there. I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to eat the cat litter. I'm sorry that all my videos these days have dog disruptions in them, but it is what it bloody is. So, Jonas Hoffman, don't know too much about the player, to be honest. I remember watching him earlier this season in the Champions League, but let me know your thoughts on the player in the comments down below. We move into story number 2, and it is slight progressions in the future of Fikayo Tomori. There's a lot of people who know that I am a massive fan of Fikayo Tomori. When he broke onto the scene at Chelsea in Frank Lampard's first season, I thought he looked really good. I thought he felt and looked right at home in the Chelsea starting 11, be it against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, which was for me a standout performance. Even though we didn't win that game, I thought Tomori really showed his fearlessness and his quality in a match of that kind of calibre, despite Chelsea not getting the results. This season, he went on loan to AC Milan, and he's done incredibly, incredibly well. And it's a tough one for me because I think Tomori's such a great player. But for whatever reason, Chelsea were willing to put the option to buy at 28 million euros. And it is looking as though AC Milan are interested in keeping Fikayo Tomori at the club for next season. The problem is, I feel like this is a little bit too cheap for a player who's still very young, and in my opinion was incredibly unfortunate to not even be named in Gareth Southgate's provisional squad for Euro 2021, or whatever it's going to be known as. 2020, 2021, it's this year, so it's 2021. Tomori didn't make it, and maybe that will be a little bit of a factor in Tomori's mind as to what he wants to do as the player. So AC Milan at the moment are trying to see if Chelsea will budge on their asking price of 28 million, which I think is a little bit ludicrous, because 28 million is a bloody good deal. He's had a great time since he signed for AC Milan on loan. And to be honest, he's displaced some of their first team players to become a regular in their starting 11. So AC Milan turning their nose up at a 28 million fee is kind of mind-boggling, baffling, if you ask me. So we'll see how that one goes. Chelsea aren't going to budge. And I think if AC Milan say 28 million is a bit too much, then fantastic news, because then he can come back to Chelsea, be given a real shot next season potentially under Thomas Tuchel, depending on whether we actually get our defensive targets this summer or not. I would absolutely love to see Fikayo Tomori given another chance at Chelsea Football Club. I think he deserves it, and I think he's good enough to actually be in our team. We move into the final story of the day, and I say it's the biggest because it is the biggest, because the flipping match is tomorrow. And the way that I've wanted to do the previews, both the one yesterday with Eunice, if you haven't seen that yet, we took a bit of a trip down memory lane. We brought up some of the emotional feelings that we felt in both 2008 and 2012 in the lead up to this game tomorrow. And I don't really see where the time for me talking about penalties was going to come, apart from in today's Chelsea FC news video. So Chelsea in their last two Champions League finals, we've experienced the ecstasy, the delirium of 2012, where against all of the odds, Chelsea beat Bayern Munich in their own bloody backyard. We also experienced the heartbreak that was the Nicolas Anelka miss, the John Terry sliding it onto the post miss that made Manchester United champions of Europe as we waited for the Holy Grail for another 4 years. Chelsea in Champions League finals, penalty shootouts, they go hand in hand, but I wouldn't say it is the happiest of marriages. Divorce was out of the window when we won in 2012, but tomorrow, if it goes to penalties again, I want to say this for myself, and I'm sure I speak for the majority of you here, I don't know if I can watch. I honestly, if it goes to penalties again, I don't know if I can watch, to be honest. I will end up watching, but on the top of my head, when I think about the nerves, when I think about how I felt during those last two penalty shootouts in Champions League finals, it makes my organs curl up inside of me and just almost stop functioning. So for me, it's a bit too scary. However, I do want to discuss who Chelsea's 5 penalty takers would be, in my opinion, based off of A, who I think could bury a decent penalty, B, who is likely to actually be on the pitch at this stage of the game, and C, who do I think would actually want to step up and take a penalty. We saw in the Europa League final that even those who didn't want to take them ended up having to take them. It was an incredible penalty shootout, David De Gea missing it, and I don't want to sit here making jokes about United, because I know if we lose tomorrow, I'm going to be a very antisocial, angry person for a few days. So I don't even want to jump into the look how funny that is kind of vibe yet, at least. So in terms of the 5 penalty takers, I haven't made my decision yet as to who I think is going to start in central midfield tomorrow, but Jorginho, I think, will feature at some point, whether he starts the game or comes off the bench. So Jorginho would be probably the first one, because I think he is the most consistent, even though he's missed a couple this season. Jorginho would be in there. I would give one to Mason Mount, just because I think he'd really want to take one, because he's got that kind of confidence, and when it really matters, he wants to be seen as the man that Chelsea can rely on no matter what it is, even at such a young age. And I think he actually takes a bit too much blame sometimes when things go wrong, because our expectations of Mount are so high. But I give him a penalty. Taker number 3, it's such a tough one because we don't actually have that many penalty takers, but I would give it to Timo Werner. And a lot of people have said, well, the guy can't finish. This season he's missed so many bloody chances. How could you be confident in giving Timo Werner a penalty when it matters most? I wouldn't give him penalty number 5 because I think that is beyond pressure, potentially. But he is a striker, and I think that what we saw from Timo against Leicester when the fans were in the stadium, which the fans will obviously be there tomorrow as well, we saw a different side of Timo. We saw less of a reluctant side. He was more trying to impress, which I actually think is a big thing for Timo. Sometimes I think he just gets so caught up in his head from the previous misses, and there isn't a catalyst in the stadium at the time to actually push him to just keep going. And I think with the fans back, we saw against Leicester how good he was. And I think tomorrow it could be the same again. And I think he wants to have that opportunity to do something great for this club to set him up in good stead for next season. We move into penalty number 4. And if he's on the pitch, I would 100% give a penalty to Hakeem Ziak. I think whatever way you look at it, I think Ziak is the kind of player who you can tell a lot from the way he's feeling and what he's going to do by his eyes. And I think Ziak is the kind of penalty taker, a bit like Eden Hazard, where he's going to probably try and play mind games with the goalkeeper. And I know we're talking about a top-class keeper in Ederson. I think Hakeem Ziak, whether he starts the game or comes off the bench, he's got to be on the pitch at the ending. And I think if the game goes to extra time, I think Thomas Tuchel will really start to think about his substitutions based off of what the penalty shootout inevitability could be. So Hakeem Ziak is penalty number 4, and penalty taker number 5, if I had a choice, this is the controversial one, Marcos Alonso. I would actually give Marcos Alonso the penalty, and I'd give him an important one because I think in terms of striking the football, he's one of the best at the club. And it was between him and Olivier Giroud. And to be honest, I've actually changed my mind here at the ending of the video. I would give Olivier Giroud penalty number 5. And then if it goes to it, Alonso would be a solid call for number 6. Olivier Giroud is penalty taker number 5. I was just umming and ahhing about it because I wasn't sure if he'd be on the pitch. But I think if Chelsea are chasing a winning goal in a final, you call upon Olivier Giroud any second of the day. So, my 5 penalty takers, Jorginho, Mason Mount, Timo Werner, Hakeem Ziak and Olivier Giroud. In that order. Let me know who yours would be in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching this video today. I won't take up any more of your time because I'm hoping to release a second video for you lot later on this evening. But thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new. And as I said at the beginning, GBFC Selects, make sure you're entered to be in with a chance of winning the £1,000. And there's also a £5 prize draw for Chelsea shirts and Xbox X. So check it out. I will see you guys later. Come on, you Blues.